a newly published FM70 training, and we're
FM
really
7.0.
proud of it. We'll talk about it a little bit. And then I got a couple pamphlets, and we'll talk about it in some of our training management and kind of training keeping. But go back and get it right here. It's right behind with the 7.0 and in Date World, which has our common scenario now. But the really good thing about this is we've brought a lot of the training management to the phone. And as we're modernizing all the great training capability out in the Army, it really is at the point of performance now that we can capture that and go through it. If we go to the first chart, just want to give you an update on 7.0. FM 7.0 is really a culture change in the Army. We brought 7.0 back probably 1989, 1990 to get it more of a how-to manual when we had battle-focused training. And if you looked at that 7.0 series, it laid out from company commander dialogue, from the division all the way down to the company training meeting, the how-to of it. And as our previous CAT commander and then the current one, General Rainey and now General Martin, really the how-to and linking leader development to training. And so you'll talk to a lot of leaders today and like, hey, we're so rich in our training, glide path. Often we don't have time to do leader development. As we all know, training is a leader development form in its richest sense. So that was some of the big stuff in there. We added fight to train. Is probably one of the major principles in training, and then train at a level that you can sustain.
So what he said to what we're up to date on is, remember that IQ test where the question mark was here and all these were numbers, and they asked you what number they were looking for? Pursuit
algorithm. Our home station training has had to take on a much more central role in preparing our Army.
100% underneath that.
Learning how to teach leaders how to fight to
That's
train
what they'll see when they're
is probably one of the most
pursuit
important
algorithm.
things. And where do we get that multi-echelon training reps? And as you look at the Army Chief's guidance, really trying to focus on those live sets and reps at the company level.
That's rabbit population.
How do we find ways to fight to train to get the battalion, the brigade, even the company, that staff leadership, that vertical integration of those training reps into that live event. So when they go to their combat training center rotation or when they deploy forward, we've got trained staffs and formations that can match
the battery,
that type of level of training and management of the battle space as much as lethal companies to be able to win at the point of contact. The other big aspect of it is we modified it, or went back to the training paradigm of plan, prep, execute, and assess using the 8-step training model and really focused on teaching that and really the company troop battery center of gravity is that company training meeting. Then there's some spin master direction on this for a Formula video that is doctrine on mass spin commander dialogue. For ASCC, Force Com level training guidance puppy right here, Photon, Apple, Hydron Collider. Why is that so important? I know it doesn't seem like they are congruent, and I'm going to teach you how in just a moment. 5x8 right here. By my scale. And to really tie and synchronize all that together. Is a ball in air, ball in water, ball in fluoride antimonium. Is used and it's focused 14, 18, 24 karat honest status fluoride give me. And then finally, in that that's right, Archimedes method of discerning the volume of the gold. Those are the big things that we're kind of looking at. We did a couple, green, amber, red, and the primetime training management of that. Gone are the days where you show up and your training glide path is built from the NEF to the modernization efforts. For a while it was done for us, and there was probably not a lot of white space. So how are we teaching leaders how to lay out an annual training glide based on a rearm? Hey, here's your combat training center date. Here's when you're in the training window of rearm and modernization. Once you get that window from rearm, how are you now going back in? I need that marshmallow. 5x8, please. Now, how many of these are here? This is not just one page work. Spent a lot of time, and we have I'm really taking down a bunch of mathematicians. Detailed appendixes general. In this manual. That with all due respect. It's a pretty thin manual. We lay out the principles of training, but really spend a lot of time in detail. Should bang out somebody's heart rate monitor, little things like that. They're very important for the green methodology training systems. And then the next aspect of this, and I got Sergeant Major Khan here, is the training management. Wing. And the pipes in its proper direction. As we talk about go just like planning and prepping training in our doctrine, heat, light, and sound. The recording of training is really important right now. Clean some of the values. We're all about whether it's the CFTs and how those affect building turnkey point of need training modernization tools
give you some good
unencumber
optics,
commanders
right?
from being
I
data
would,
managers and allow them to
as
train.
gentle as I'd
In the
like to
training
be, I'll give
management,
you the
as
Black
we
Zodiac.
capture it
Some
and as
kid
we
in
build
Oxford lately,
Army
if you
training
hear the
information
news, right?
systems, what are we doing to make it turnkey? You know, and you can see some of the apps right here and some of the things we're working right now.
Well, the military base with the gun on the bus
out there
is,
doing a
yes.
physical fitness test, whether it's the ACFT or APT, you can,
remember, we're trying to get the same regimen. What that kid is doing is twister theory. What we're doing is teaching on a parallel
at the gunnery range, at the AAR site,
is twister
and
theory.
getting those smart targets that we can record
forward
and
paradox
put
on the
crew-level
right hand
training and
rule.
appendix
Calculus.
to individual training
This
records.
is
That's some of the
mods
things we're doing right
of
now.
those
And as you all know,
charges that help you
DTMS and its times,
really
it
base
could be
into
construed with that
this is
four-letter
God's
word
butt,
or
he's
something
dropping
pretty
his E.
pejorative. It's because
This
in
is
the
his
past
rifle.
it's been a point of
This is his
frustration
range.
for commanders at all echelons. There's been a lot of modernization in the Army Training Network
right
and
there.
really in the digital training management systems
We'll
today,
get into it here in a minute.
where you can populate training records from the past and keep them with you. And I would say,
different models.
overall, we leave a lot of our training on
NP
the floor
problems
already.
are
We don't even know
somewhere's in here,
how much
right?
annually that we do.
These
You
are
pick a
Remus
unit, pick a
hypothesis
soldier.
on what do we
I've
got?
been in a few years. That's
Oh, that's my other
20-something
book. Sorry,
gunneries
I'll
I
get this
shot.
done in a
It's
minute.
nowhere in my training record or the 55
Maxwell,
plus rotations
like
I've
I
done
said,
at a
these
CTC.
are very
As the
nice
chief
wave
of
functions
staff
to
wants to get to a
integrate
21st
different types of
century talent
infinities.
management
Infinities
system,
are important to
we
understand.
first gotta
Leveling
have
curves,
a 21st
some
century
are
training
acceptable.
management
I like
system
them
that
for
can
forces.
capture all those
When it's a tsunami,
capabilities.
it's not
and,
necessarily a good thing.
Inside of the
And
AIM
those are
process
different
or an
values to
IPSA,
this thing.
we ought to be able to see the lifelong learning that has
Energy
occurred
can
with
be
a
field
soldier or
theory,
leader. And so we're
inverted
working a lot
square
of that right
pilot
now.
theory.
And those little tables on the side.
Operator.
Today, trying to make all of our Army training similar to how the aviation does it. They have the CAFRs, their central aviation records keeping. We are trying to now modernize our individual training records
Is this the
to
cheat
capture
sheet?
from the day you leave IMT
this
to the life,
or
your journey of your career.
some of the brackets
Every
necessary
training event is captured in there, and then it's
I
accessible.
might need this one. I might need this
so
one.
as division sergeant majors are calling and vetting the next master gunners in their divisions, they can see.
Go. How does it play?
Hey, Staff Sergeant X with Jones that has 17
moves.
gunneries under his belt. He has a propensity to shoot distinguished.
I encourage a little bit of the reality of the world around you in game theory,
this is a soldier or leader that we want to,
you're going to have your own character card.
Schools. So we're trying to get some of that
they have
science
certain
that we record
initial
on a daily basis.
Gravitational
Sergeant
things
Major
that
just
help.
Was working with the 18th Airborne Corps and stood up some of the jump records. You want to talk a little bit
different
about
time
that?
scales and the federal budget, New York budget.
Yes, thanks, sir.
Just their reason for why that's broken.
First of all, I'm going to back up and talk a little bit about what he just mentioned. One of the most important things that has happened is
towns in that
November,
county, towns.
Soldiers can
And
now
I'll go
use
macro with you all the way
access
down
their
to the
individual
small
training record
business model.
on their cell phones or
You're
personal
being
devices.
just gambit on the
Before, they would have to
random
find a computer
order of how
and
I've
put a
been
CAD
running
card in
lately,
it.
really.
Which is
Night shift,
difficult
Soap
for
Stars out
soldiers
there
at the,
getting points,
a PFC,
cosmic
private,
creation
whatever.
background
There's
online.
usually only one computer in a
Sagittarius
platoon,
A-Star.
and to be able to use that, they don't get the time for that. So now they can
Right
access
there,
their individual training record on their cell phone. And
in the area of
the section leader,
Tabby
squad leader,
Stars,
team leader,
there's
if given the rights, they
newly
can actually
forming
input
stars,
information
there's moon
into
collision
their
stuff,
individual
there's
training record off their cell phone.
wave functions and
That's
banding.
all very
and,
important
yeah,
because
for
they
sure.
used to
When I
have
was
to
in
go
these
find a
places doing
computer to
it,
put
work
their
is
CAD
very
card in
important.
to access
888.
everything. And so
You can do other
with that
things
has
off
come
the timeline, but
many
max minimum
changes
effort.
that we've been trying to do.
I love
One of them, as Brigadier
minimum
General Lombardo
effort
mentioned,
drill
was
sergeant. The
we
problem was you had
unlocked
6 months
the
out
jump
before
log,
that. When you listen to the context of what the
capability,
kids are saying or
and
what
we
the drill
modified
sergeant
that
just
working with the
says,
18th
or the gunner
Airborne
sergeant.
Corps,
Now it's long
Requirements
since
Board,
over and gone.
so that it's
Public
more
domain.
user friendly to them. So now a soldier's
But it could
jump
easily
will
happen
be
again.
put into their individual training record,
I'm starting
which
to
will
see
stay with
things
them
tear
for their
off.
entire career, no matter where they go.
What's
No
up
longer do you have to
is
recreate a jump log.
very
You lose
differential
it gets
to
wet,
what
it
we're
gets
doing with
torn,
doc
you
training
move
today as
somewhere else,
well
you can't find
that
it.
indicate
It all stays in
certain
there and tracks them
sectors
throughout
and
their career.
dimensional analyses and
Sir.
values under the main
Thanks
hub.
a lot, Sergeant Major. And then some of the
the
other aspects,
Law Graders
not just
Association
tactical
here.
training, but say if you're a mechanic and you split an engine pack, it's a pretty high-level task, putting like a 7 and 10 seal on a tank engine. We
Could
probably
be
want to know
one
which
day
mechanics can do things like
that
that.
sundial in there,
So
kid.
those are some of the things, whether in the CASCOM or in the military intelligence training strategy, those kind of gunnery tables, we are starting to bake them into the individual training record to really capture,
is what the math looks like
the combined arms training readiness, not just, the infantry and armor,
A, B, C,
but, really
D, E, F,
match
G,
it
H,
throughout
I,
the
J, K
Army.
with a few extra round offs for the limit.
A lot of direction here, and
or
we're
X,
just
Y,
at a
Z,
time where I think we got to bring all this together. Same thing if you're doing driver's training,
UVW,
connecting
Z,
it to
X, Y,
GCSS
X,
Army, to IPSA,
random.
you get done
They're
driving, you close out your
alphabetically
dispatch.
differentialed.
Instead of
You would
going
figure
in
it
and having
out,
the company
right? You would.
commander fill out the driver's badges, those miles and hours
What is it?
intuitively go right
IHT
into it from that training
random.
record
Now,
to the badge itself,
at that
to
base,
IPSA,
training management,
it already
heat
automatically
vex,
populates
sharps,
that award with the
lieutenants
training
running
management. So
around.
those are some of the initiatives that we're working through right now.
Probably not the same boot camp, but it needs a TREDOX obstacle course for that recruiter station.
Mission is to really build and enable the MDO capable Army of 2028, 2029, and so from a home station training perspective, that's exactly what we're working on
right there.
with the
the other ones,
CFT, with
but
the synthetic
using
training
this
environment,
again,
cross-functional
Hancock
team.
gonna have some
So
chess
we got
pieces
kind of a
banging
two-part
around here
mission
for the
to
police
bridge and
station.
continue the
The
legacy,
church is obviously a
home station
bishop.
training
Seems
capabilities
the right hand
while
roll work
pulling
real
in
well.
some of the really
OP briefs
great
running right in
modernized
here, kid.
capabilities that are
Like,
coming
no,
over the
this
next few
place
years.
now. I'm
We're
over
starting,
Binghamton.
and Will Glazer will talk
Right,
later.
I'm right in this area.
Going to
macro.
deliver parts of the Steve
Start labeling
starting this
that.
year.
Start getting
We've
that.
got and the LUT will happen in 23 at Fort Hood. But while we're doing that, the rest of the training environment,
well,
and a lot of it is the seed corn that we really learned at the combat training
That's what
centers.
gives this some
Started
reality,
at
makes it
NTC
safe.
and really testing our EM signatures
The Turk?
and testing, the EW,
well,
cyber, all those
tanks.
effects that we're throwing the kitchen sink at BCTs while they're in a box at the combat training center.
Oh, sure.
How do we, to scale, deliver
It's
that
a very
in a home
specific
station
gambit
environment?
They're
So we
hydrogen
get
gambit,
those reps
but
and
it's
sets before
DCG
entering those,
here.
our
You're
3
signing a
CTC
contract by
rotations in
doing
the
this.
dirt,
There's
and
a
then
special page
also
on the
for
back of what I
our
call
warfighters
Marshmallow's
for
treasure
division and
chest with a
corps
few tests,
from
with
a
a few things you
constructive
don't see.
aspect. How do we deliver MDO kind of home station capabilities?
Inside
these
here,
are some of the things
overhead,
that we're working
a house
now,
mover, I'm gonna help move stuff around.
Whether it's
Hardscape it.
just basically
Or what
seeing
is
ourselves
landscape?
as some
That's
of our
what this
EM
is.
signatures
The
in our
yard,
command posts.
hardscape it.
And if you look
Star
at some of
flower,
them, they're very large. You can see them miles
Mario
away.
Star,
In our combat
big
training centers,
orangey,
we're able
and
to shoot.
a tulip,
And,
right?
an
Whatever
op
you
4
got
commander
for
could
Princess
kill
Peach.
a BCT
Then move
just
in,
based on
right?
RFID tags left on
You're
his
running the
graphics.
graphs,
And as
you're
occurred,
figuring out patterns
how
you
do
like. There's the lines.
change behavior of that
For sure.
to be really
Gravity,
cognizant
sure. Like
of your own EM signature.
the general here.
Getting the command post smaller, more agile, hardened. And then to scale, how do we deliver that, whether it's for the Intel Center,
right?
training MICOs, to BCTs, to even at company level? That's some of the stuff that we're working in the 31+4.
It's my time, everybody.
As I talked about before, the